Man, we were your typical American family. I mean, mom, dad, 2 kids, 2 dogs, and a cat. We were living the American dream. Food on the table, 2 cars in the garage, that.
To a point, I did have everything going for me. I had a wonderful family. I was a cheerleader, I was going to college, I had all these things going for me.
I was so proud of her. She was a cheerleader. She saw something through her 4 years. I was proud of her.
I'd never thought it'd been me. I had my whole life.
People that come in today with opiate dependence problems come from great families. They have all the potential in the world. They're straight A students in school. They have good friends.
But when I look back, there was something, there that I wanted to experiment with, and I got with the wrong people and started doing dumb things that led me to where I am today. I got with the wrong people and started doing dumb things. I was about 15 years old and I started running with a girl.
Oftentimes, it's the individuals who that person starts to hang out with that really starts them down this path.
I was just smoking pot. I drank on occasion, It was a good time, just partying, I didn't need it then. It was just a recreational thing until I started doing it more.
People cannot anticipate how devastating this drug is going to be to them. So they might casually try it or experiment with it when they're around other people. And it's just that they have the opportunity. So when the opportunity presents itself and it looks like fun and it feels really good, kids will try it.
We see over and over again people that started with a simple experimentation with an opiate, a powerful pain pill. They get hooked. They have to fuel that addiction through a variety of means.
By that time, I was slowly progressing to where I needed it every day. It wasn't just fun anymore. It was, I wake up sick and I start feeling bad.
If you interviewed people that have successfully recovered from this terrible addiction, they would tell you that when they first took a pain medication, pain pill, that they would never in a million years have envisioned themselves purchasing heroin, shooting up heroin with a syringe.
I would have told you I would have never snorted pills. I would have never, ever in a million years shot up.
But once people can't get these drugs, because these drugs are going for as much as $250 a pill on the street, when they can't get those drugs, they move on to heroin.
But when you stick that needle in your arm, you will not go back.
My mother went through a prescription drug problem of her own. She developed a relationship with a veterinarian at one time who was older than her.
More often than not, women are introduced, or girls are introduced, to opiates by a boyfriend, a close relationship. So what we find is drug-fueled relationships. We see people associating with other people who are drug addicts.
There was a trade-off between those two. I guess because of his license, even though he was a veterinarian, he was able to get his hands on the kind of drugs my mom wanted. And my mom, in return, gave him what he wanted.
Drug-fueled relationships are perhaps the most insidious kind because the kind of devastation that people can cause together.
I started seeing this boy and he was older and he dealt pills and I couldn't afford my habit at that point, so I started seeing him and she would get upset with me because she was like, he only wants you, because you're younger and he only wants you for one thing really.
She had herself a boyfriend, okay? And I guess dads look at boyfriends maybe a little bit different than moms do. I don't know. Mom, I think, felt a little bit more like she was losing her baby girl. Dad was looking at this a little bit more like, all right, look, if you're gonna start dating, I want to be on the forefront of it. I just kind of want to know what's going on.
When I got with him, it went to crap. I mean, when we first started talking and stuff, I was doing Lortabs. I wouldn't touch anything bigger. And then by the time we were really starting to hang out and stuff, I was doing oxys and roxys, and I wouldn't settle for anything less. If I couldn't get it, I would find a way to get it. I would have him get it or his friends get it. He would threaten me with the drugs. You know, if you leave me here, you're going to be sick. And at that point, you care because, like, oh God, this person's getting ready to leave and he has my drug supply and I don't want him to leave. But then it's like, you know what, I'll find another one just like you. By this time, I'd turned on to heroin. And when a relationship's drug-fueled, it never works because if one of you ain't got drugs, the other one's mad.
From the moment they start using these drugs, they very rapidly start down that spiral of abuse. And when they get to the bottom, that's when you see it. That's when they wake up and say, where am I? What have I done?
Really with my family life, my dad knew more than what my mom did. My mom sort of, I felt like, held a blind eye to it. Like, she knew it, but she didn't want to see it. And Dad, he tried to help me and stuff.
I was not always the best father. I was a very good parent, okay? I did the parental responsibility thing fairly well. I put a roof over their heads, I put food on the table.
I get phone calls every day from parents who are desperate to help the person that they care about, their own children, the people that they never thought would have this problem. And they can't understand, why is this person doing this? Why do they continue to do this? Did I do something wrong?
But being a dad, I had shortcomings, and especially when it came to a girl. You know, it was kind of my thought, well, girls supposed to, you know, learn more from their mom and do more girl kind of things and mom kind of things.
And I would look at my mom and I'd say, why do you care? Why do you care what I'm doing to myself? Because this is my body and you shouldn't care. It doesn't matter.
You've devastated everyone in your life. You have destroyed relationships. You have totally and completely given yourself over to something that doesn't care about you. It doesn't have any regard for you and your life. You have totally given yourself over to that and laid everything to waste.
Even though, like, I knew it would all come to an end at some point, I really didn't care at that point. It's hard to talk about because I know the pain I put up through. And he said, what can I do? You know, and I didn't know what to do. And still then, I didn't care because I still kept doing it. When I went to jail, no lie, I hit my knees and I said, Lord, if you bring me out of this, I will never touch a drug again.
And when they move on to heroin, the chances of overdosing grow exponentially. And that's because heroin can be 20% potency, it can be 80% potency, and you'll never know. You put that needle in your arm and you're playing Russian roulette. No question about it.
I guess some severe consequences is death, and we see it more and more now. The impact that it has on family, your immediate family, maybe children, our communities in general. affects everybody. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, how much money you make, what your family's like, where you live. It affects everyone, and especially our young folks.
This truly is an equal opportunity destroyer. This has no economic bounds. This has no socioeconomic bounds.
This problem doesn't care who you are, where you're at in life, what you've been doing. This problem finds you without you knowing it, and it doesn't care, and it takes everything from you.
There had been a car accident, and they were involved, and nobody in the car made it. The killer was under the influence at the time, that they felt like the field sobriety test and whatnot that they performed, she failed, she showed it. I believe they found drugs in the car.
Ms. Brown, what's your reaction to these charges?
Irma Brown was quiet, almost stoic, as sheriff's deputies walked her into the Cabell County Courthouse. Brown faces 3 counts of driving under the influence.
We can't play God on this earth. We have no idea when our actions are going to impact someone else.
You could be the innocent victim of someone else's drug problem without even trying to place yourself in that situation.
And this is what I would call my home. This is now where the majority of my family resides. And this is where I visit them. You know, it's faith is what gets me by. I come out here to feel close to them. There's a connection here that I can't get anywhere else. I'm not ashamed to say those are my lips that I come out here and pray for them. Holy Spirit. You, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. At 21, you'd think my daughter might be thinking about, she had a boyfriend. She might be thinking about getting married. It's one thing I'll never do now. I'll never walk my daughter down the aisle. I had to hand her to God, whether I was ready for it or not. You think when you do the right things, when you make it through the struggles that just being a family, just the natural things that happen as a family with struggles, and you overcome those, you feel like you've really gotten somewhere. You're a credit to society. Drugs no good, no bad. They don't target just the wrong side of the track. Though the down and outs, drugs can kill anybody, anytime. You know, it's easy when you're trying to be a good parent and somewhat of a protective parent to not only look out, for your own children and their choices, but and of course you'll think about their friends and others that they hang around with. But I don't know that anybody ever prepares you. I don't know that anybody ever thinks about the fact that it could happen at any moment, any time, by anybody that's there. We never thought about it. I never would have, my worst nightmare would have never prepared me for anything like this. And maybe, just maybe that has something to do with why I don't dream these days. I don't have dreams. I believe that's been taken from me, and I'm not so sure that's bad. I don't need to recall things like this.
I know I'm an addict because I deal with it every day. I struggle. If I was to look at you and say I never think about doing a pill, I would be a flat out liar to you. It will take every person, everything you've owned and everything you've loved away, and you'll be left with nothing except that drug.
The first pop of the pill to ending up in federal court can happen in the blink of an eye. But it doesn't change the fact of what I have to do. Those individuals must pay for the crimes that they committed. And trust me, they've committed more than you can ever know.